What's up, family? Welcome to Ask to My Eyes.
where we challenge you to stop playing and start pushing.
This right here is my lovely and beautiful wife, Yana.
And this right here is my got it going on husband, Ayize.
Hey, what's up, y'all? We coming to y'all today to talk about something that we've noticed has impacted relationships pretty significantly, and that is vulnerability. We want to speak specifically about the risk and rewards of vulnerability, and we're going to use ourselves as an example and speak about a recent situation.
And when my husband says we've noticed that it's impacted relationships, what we're talking specifically about is people's inability or unwillingness to be vulnerable. Their inability, no consciousness about it, or their unwillingness, I ain't going there, to be vulnerable. Okay?
You know, what's interesting about that too is as I sit right here and we do this video, I'm looking across the street and I'm seeing a whole bunch of woods over there. And if you were to ask somebody, would they risk betrayal? Would they risk hurt? Would they risk feelings of fear, feelings of helplessness, and then also hopelessness to get through the woods and to arrive at the other side where you can have peace, where you can have whatever it is that you want in your relationship and all that you desire? Would you go through the woods? Some people would say no. I'm not trying to get bit by snakes. I ain't trying to trip over logs and fall down and get ticks on me and stuff like that. But some people would say yes, and they would say yes based off of what they know is on the other side. And what's on the other side could be a healthy, wholesome, loving, and ridiculously wonderful relationship, which is what we got. And we've been through some woods, y'all. Trust and believe. And so, the situation that I want to share with you all is one that just recently occurred where I shared with my wife.
What is the situation?
You're about to find out.
Okay.
I
This has to do with vulnerability?
It does. It does have to do with vulnerability.
Okay.
I actually took a risk, and I shared with my wife something that had occurred between me and another woman 10 years ago. Yeah. And the reason why I said I took a risk and I was vulnerable because there was some fear of judgment that I experienced based off of what I was sharing. Now, I'm not going to tell y'all what I shared exactly at this moment. I'm going to give y'all a little tease right there. I mean, I will tell you all in the future.
You ain't being vulnerable for real.
No, I'm being semi-vulnerable, semi-transparent, but I'm vulnerable with you.
Yes.
And I'm connected to you.
Yes.
And I've shared with you what that situation was. And I took a risk and I opened up. And in doing so, you felt betrayed, which is one of those risks of vulnerability. My wife, she's opened up her heart completely to me. She's given herself unashamedly and just exposed herself. She's been naked with me, and for the most part, I think I hold it down and I do what I need to do to make sure that this right here is taken care of. But there are times when I do come short.
And this was one of them.
And this was definitely one of them where you were hurt by what I had shared, and so you risked based off of you being vulnerable.
You had a lot of risk, though.
Yeah, those feelings of being hurt, those feelings of being betrayed, those feelings of your trust being broken. But yes, I also took a risk too. Again, risk being judged, risk hurting my woman, hurting my wife, and then also risked being hurt in the process as well too. So there were a lot of risks that were attached with what I had just recently shared. But
and
we
a
pushed
lot of
through.
folks say, "What you gonna say something for?"
Yeah.
Plus,
exactly.
it was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, we're gonna give y'all the details.
Hold up. No, boo. It was not 10 years ago. Was it 10 years ago? Oh, it was 10 years ago. Yeah, y'all can't wait for that story because we've been married longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to talk about? The reward?
Yeah.
Okay, that's my assignment. I don't want to talk about the reward with this particular situation. My husband took a great risk. But I have to say that when it comes to this situation for me, I was really feeling some type of way, and I still am. We are not through the process of, really kind of going over the specifics of all of this and the interpretations and the impact and all of that. So we're in process. But I have to say when he first told me, he did tell me kind of like, oh, by the way, because we were actually talking about something that we were developing, a course that we are in the process of developing that we're going to be putting out.
And we will share with you all,
all the details.
Yeah, all of the details.
So we were talking about this course that we're going to be putting out around betrayal and how to get over the betrayal and building trust and so forth, because we've had a lot of that in the past. So he like bringing something up like, oh yeah, and when I blah blah blah, and I'm like, whoa, what you talking about? He was like, I thought I told you that. Nah, bruh. You didn't tell me that. You know what I'm saying? So this comes out in the process of us looking back at our relationship as we try to put together this course for you and for many others out there who will take advantage of it. So it was real kind of happenstance. And I was really taken aback. And I felt myself in the moment when he told me, I felt myself like literally, I mean, the tears just, my face welled up. I was by the sink in the kitchen and I was just getting ready to just let it all fall out. You know, like somebody just hit me in my heart. And don't. So I'm sorry. This is a little touchy. But I made I don't know if it was a conscious decision. I think it was more so a reflex. You know, don't do all that, baby. Rubbing me right now. It's not. Stop it. You over here like, stop it. So as a reflex, you know, I really went to a place where those tears went back, pulled it together. I really like turned off my feelings. Like, let's get down to like, so what happened? You tell me again? Come again? Let's get through this. Say what? Because I couldn't do it at that moment in time. And I have to say, in terms of what I know about myself, I tend to kind of disconnect momentarily, briefly, and then I'm able to come back to the feeling later. And many people do that for a variety of reasons. And so that's what I did. But I have to say that over the coming hours of that day, the coming days and weeks that have since followed, again, I just told you all, we're still in process with that situation. You know, that's like a fresh betrayal for me, you know, 13 years into marriage. But I made a decision a long time ago, and I came back to it clearly in my mind that this right here, this connection piece, us being on the same page moving forward always is the highest goal and it's the highest priority. So for me, taking the time to really get back into getting in touch with my feelings, talking to him about how much that hurt me, how I felt even about how he came out and said it, and even how he is looking at it even still and how that impacts me, all of that. Like I could just be in a place of defense and being angry and being mad, and I still visit that place, but telling all of that with the risk that he's going to be like, well, I still don't see it that way. You know, that's very, very difficult and has been very difficult for me. But the reward is this, and we've said this to you all before. You can make a decision to visit places of conflict. You can make a decision to visit places of difficulty, but not dwell there. And so the only way that we have learned for our own relationship and that we want you to take away today, for you to get a place of real vulnerability so that you can connect back in, is that you have to literally make yourself connect back in. And so the reward is there. The reward is that you go to another level. Yeah. We don't have it all figured out. Mm-hmm. We don't have it all sorted out at this moment in time, right? We can still have a conversation about this when this is over, which we're not, because I ain't trying to do all that tonight. I'm trying to watch Power later and have a good time with my husband. But we can do all of that. Or we can decide, you know, we're going to visit that place and continue to work through it. Continue to push through the process. But the reward is that I'm still connected to my husband. The reward is that we've come back together several times. We've been having wonderful moments of connection, wonderful sex, wonderful, insightful conversations, right? Wonderful. All of that. And this is still my boo and my man in the midst of it all. But it's because I've taken the risk to be vulnerable that I've gotten the reward, which is not necessarily resolution to the issue, but it is being on one accord with my husband. And so he's done the same thing. So yes, there are risks to vulnerability. There are rewards. You can decide what to do. You're not going to be perfect in the process. But if you just remember to take a moment, think about the reward, think about what you can get if you just push through, it will be worth it. Remember, y'all, the only way it's going to ever be possible is if you stop playing
and start pushing.